Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 20 of the 24 Tour de France, brought to you by Bicycle, the largest global marketplace for pre-owned bikes with over 20,000 high-quality pre-owned and refurbished bikes available. Bicycle connects the buyers and sellers to make the process of buying and selling bikes safe, easy, and convenient. Sellers, remember to use the code ButterflyEffect24 for 0% seller fee. Now let's get into today's stage 20 of the 24 Tour de France, because at 132 kilometers, it's about 80 miles in length, 4 categorized climbs, and it's going to summit with a 16-kilometer monster of 7%. Much like yesterday's stage, but I believe even just a little bit stiffer, where yesterday had a couple smaller, easier spots where it eased up. Today's stage 20 here of the Tour de France, 4 climbs, and the last one's going all the way up to the top. Narrow, technical difficulty. All the descents on today's stage are going to be monster crazy and technical and switchbacks. It's a fabulous stage. If you finished watching yesterday's stage 19 of the Butterfly Effect, you heard me say Tadej Pogacar said today's going to be a vacation ride for him. They really want to enjoy the stage. Doesn't always work out that way. I told you guys I want Tadej Pogacar to go for number 5 up here on today's stage 20. I want him to go for number 6 on the individual time trial. Let's go ahead and start setting some records, because the Slovenian won 6 stages of the Giro d'Italia already, and he's trying to do the double here, and stage 20 is where you're going to solidify the double if you want to win the Tour de France. You got to protect today. So we go into today's stage 20 right away. Kilometer 0, attacks all over the place. You know X, not 1 attack, not 2 attacks, not 3. They got Jonas Abrahamsen, who's wore the KOM jersey, and of course has been in every attack early in the first week of the Tour de France, leading out his teammates. He's going up the road. Magnus Cort Nelson's there, and with all the attacks, EF Education are represented, but everything's getting brought back. We're about 10 kilometers into the stage, and it starts going up the first climb. This one's not even rated. It's switchbacks all over the place. We see 20 riders going up the road. Nelson Palace there from EF Education with Carapaz on his wheel, blowing the Peloton up. There's pieces and bodies floating all over the place. If I back the film up early into this stage, because we're only 10 kilometers into it, but you go a little bit earlier before that, you see my man Victor Campenaerts back there getting dropped off the back because he's trying to get his sprinter Arnaud Delis there in the Belgium national champion jersey to the finish here on this stage 20 of the Tour de France, so they can finish the 24 Tour de France after tomorrow's individual time trial. While those guys were suffering, up front, Palace is throwing down. Now we're going to start seeing some selections when we get into the first category climb, but it's not EF Education. We see it's Bruno Armai. Moss is up there from Movistar, and along with those 2 riders, we got Wilco Kelderman up there. With Wilco Kelderman and Moss and Bruno Armai thrown down, we got 3 riders going up the road. Now they're going to go over the top of the KOM, but before they get to the top, Moss is throwing in accelerations. They're 1, 1, and 1 chasing each other. We're on the first category climb. They got about 30, 40 seconds on the Peloton behind. We'll call it 50 at the top. Moss is going over for the top of KOM points. Then we look back, what's happening in the Peloton. Solaire's looking over there at the KOM jersey right there from Carapaz from EF Education. He's letting him slide at the front. And then Jorgensen from Bismarck Lisa Bike's going to pip the points right there from Carapaz. So he's going to get 4th place points. Carapaz is going to get no KOM jerseys. If I back everything up to the start line today, when we got all of the leader jerseys on the front there, Carapaz is the one jersey, the KOM jersey, that has to be fighting and aggressive today. That's why EF Education, we're going full gas to get Carapaz some points, and Jorgensen just took one away from him. Now they go down the descent. We got 3 riders still up the road with Bruno Armai and Moss going full gas and Wilco Kelderman up there. Then we start seeing the back tail end there. That's Solaire. That's Solaireism. We haven't seen any ism for throughout 3 weeks right now. Solaire's been about perfect as he's closing up to 4 riders in front of him, burning through the corners. He'll close up that gap. Now we got 5 riders chasing 3. Before we get into the next climb, let me give you a 15-second bicycle ad here. Remember to check them out in the link below. Now let's get into the action as we're starting the second category climb. Like I said, 3 riders up front, 5 chasing those 3. Behind that, we got some more action. It's going crazy back there as we see 5 more riders with Stuyvens. Kevin Genietz is there from FDJ. Palace, EF Education's made it into this move. Now, we're going to see the 5 riders chasing the 3, and they're going to start attacking each other because if I back the film up just a hair, Soler was unhappy. Now, I told you, there's no Solerism throughout this 3 weeks of racing. So far, there's none happening right now, but no one will work in this group. That's why we see Soler getting upset. We see the race radar from UAE team members come on that they're happy to have Soler in this front group, but Soler's not happy because no one's working. Jan Tratnik is sitting on big time. Clement Champuisson, I think he was sitting on from Arkea Samsic. So we start seeing some attacks, and Clement Champuisson comes out the back. Now we got 4 riders chasing 3. Those 4 riders are going to bridge up to the 3 in front with about halfway to go up Col de Tournai. As they're bridging up, that means we got 7 riders in the front group. Behind, well, there's some non-chemistry happen or some bad chemistry happen in the group of 5 back there. So we see Nans Peters from AG2R and we see EF Education's Nielsen Palace start to get dropped. That means we got 3 riders now chasing 7. Those 3 riders are going to fly by the drop rider Champion at some point in time coming up this climb. Then the 3 are going to bridge up to the 7 with about 1.5 kilometer to go on Col de Tournai here. Now we got 10 riders coming together. We're going up to the top of the KOM here, Col de Tournai, and then we're going to see Carapaz go to work for the KOM jersey as he goes over the top grabbing maximum points. He's going to need these points because nobody knows what the outcome of stage 20 right now at the Tour de France is. But if I back it up and we start looking what was happening with the Peloton back there, well, if I take you back to the first climb, Ineos were having all kinds of problems going up the first climb. Carlos Rodriguez was coming out the back. Lucky for him, he had 3 teammates wrapped around him as they're pulling, trying to chase the front group that UAE team members were driving. Once Soler went up the road, UAE team members started backing off the throttle and slowing the pace down. Now the group of 10 up here after Carapaz grabbed maximum KOM points, the gap started going out to about 4 minutes, 4:35 I'll call it, as Pseudo Quickstep decided it's time to get on the front. I'm sitting on the Chesterfield like, wow, I didn't see this coming. I was trying to pick out a team that might start chasing, but when you look at UAE team members happy, Visma Lease Bikes happy, we had some French teams up there with Kevin Genietz in there, and then of course we had all the other climbers like Moss up there, Carapaz up there in the KOM jersey, so I didn't know who was going to chase, but this is the Tour de France, this is the last mountain stage, somebody's got to chase, so it's Pseudo Quickstep. They get on the front. It is pulling full gas right now with Pseudo Quickstep at 4 minutes 35 seconds, but it's Gianni Moscon on the front that's taken over the second KOM here, Col de Tournai. They start dropping down the descent. The 10 riders aren't working well together. They know Pseudo Quickstep's chasing, but they're attacking each other left and right. There's no chemistry at all in this group of 10 as Pseudo Quickstep are starting to get some chemistry back there with Gianni Moscon pulling. Now the group up front, they're going to cross the sprint line competition. That means that Beniam Girmay, the Eritrean, is going to lock up the green jersey here at the Tour de France, assuming he can get through tomorrow's individual time trial, because he's not even in the peloton back there that's being led by Gianni Moscon coming across the line. But there neither is any other sprinter. Jasper Philipsen got dropped early in the stage with my man Victor Campenuts. So right now with this group of 10 coming into the 3rd category climb, same thing. There's no chemistry. They keep attacking each other up the front. I couldn't tell you how many attacks there were. There was so many, but I know Jan Tratnik was attacking, and he's got Wilco Kelderman, his teammate, in this group, and I know all the guys are unhappy as the time's starting to drop. Now we're going to see that Gianni Moscon did a fine job coming into the 3rd category climb. He pulled about 4 kilometers into it. Now it's time for Ilan van Wilder to go to work. Ilan van Wilder's got his jersey all the way zipped down, and he's trying to get a breeze here as they're going full gas, and the time's starting to drop up to the group of 10. The group of 10 will come up to the top of the KOM together with 10 riders, and Carapaz will get maximum points. This is going to lock up the KOM jersey. Now we go further back down to the chase. It's happening with Pseudo Quickstep. Take a look at all the riders here with their jerseys zipped, and nobody's wearing an undershirt. They all watched the Butterfly Effect and Beyond the Coverage earlier videos of this year in the 24 season where I say wearing an undershirt is absolutely ridiculous. There is no way to stay cooler than taking that undershirt off, and you'll see that so many of the riders, especially Mikel Landa, Ilan van Wilder, Jan Hertz, they all got their jerseys unzipped. Jorgensen's got his jerseys unzipped. Everybody's got it. It's a hot, miserable day right now with Pseudo Quickstep pulling on the front of the peloton, dropping the time down to about 3 minutes when they go over the top of the 3rd category climb, chasing the group of 10 up front. Now we're coming into 16 kilometers to go. It's the last final mountain stage, road mountain stage here of the 24 Tour de France, and the group of 10's driving at the front with Jan Tratnik on the front of the breakaway here, pulling full gas. We start seeing right away Bruno Armai's coming out the back, Solaire's coming out the back, Kevin Giniet's from FDJ's coming out the back from the speed up there of Jan Tratnik. We look back at the Peloton, what's happening? Ilan Van Wilder came flying into the last 16 kilometers to go, the last final climb here, the Tour de France, 7% average. Ilan Van Wilder's done. It's time for Jan Hurt to go to work for Pseudo Quickstep. They've done a fine job. Gianni Moscon doing a ton of work to bring the time gap down. Ilan Van Wilder's brought it down to 3 minutes to the group of 10 up front. Jan Hurt starts throwing on the pedals. Right away, who do we first see with one foot dead and buried in the coffin right there? That's going to be Ineos as they start dropping out the back. That Carlos Rodriguez is the first top 10 of the general classification casualty here on the last and final mountain stage of the Tour de France road stage. As Carlos Rodriguez coming out the back, Jan Hurt is still going hard on the pedals. He's going to pull all the way into about 10 kilometers to go, and then we're going to see Mikel Landa get on the front. When Mikel Landa gets on the front, the group gets decimated. We're down to about 12, 15 riders with Pseudo Quickstep on the front. Now, if you're sitting on the Chesterfield and you go back to when they first started pulling with Gianni Moscon, you ask yourself, what are you guys doing? You're going to hand deliver the stage to Tadej Pogacar. Of course, that's probably a 99% accuracy right there. If you thought that way, that's what I thought too, but that's not what's really happening. What's really happening is Pseudo Quickstep is throwing a Hail Mary into it. They're trying to get Remco Evenepoel, who saw Jonas Vingegaard have problems on yesterday's stage 19 of the Tour de France, so it's a Hail Mary to get rid of Jonas Vingegaard, and if they can win the stage, that's a cherry on top of the cake right now, but they're trying to move up to second on the general classification because Remco Evenepoel said he's got big balls. With Landa pulling full gas on the front, with the GC Peloton getting decimated back there, and Landa breaking it down to about a dozen riders, we start looking up front. Carapaz and Enric Mas threw an attack and blew up the group, what was left of them. They had about 6 riders. When Mas and Carapaz threw in their attack, now we got 2 riders holding off the speed there from Mikel Landa behind. They got about a 2-minute gap still at this moment as the 2 riders aren't working well together still. This group of 10 has just given up time left to right here on stage 20, and Mas is covering attacks from Carapaz, is throwing in the accelerations, Mas covering it, then they'll work well together, then they'll stop working well together, but Landa's working well with Remco Evenepoel right now as he's pulling full gas. He's blowing up that group. It's getting smaller and smaller with every kilometer as it passes. Now we get into 7 kilometers to go. It's time for Remco Evenepoel to throw the balls on the table. As he rolls the dice right now, he throws in a huge attack. Jonas Vingegaard follows it directly on his wheel. Tadej Pogacar, the Slovenian, the race leader's yellow jersey, he's locked on too. Remco Evenepoel knows he can't get rid of Jonas Vingegaard. Throws off the gas at this moment. Then we see Landa and we see Almeida come back up. Once we see Almeida get back up there, bam! UAE team members start getting on the front of the Peloton. He's getting the time gap brought down to about a minute. Now we're coming under 5 kilometers to go. I'll call it 4.8. And it's time for Remco Evenepoel to throw in another acceleration. Once Remco throws in the acceleration, he looks right over his shoulder. Jonas Vingegaard attacks to the left, throws a huge acceleration for Bismilisa bike with Tadej Pogacar locked on his wheel. Remco Evenepoel's leg started to hurt. The gap opens up. Jonas is flying into this left turn. It's a left turn with an inside hard steep bump there. Jonas Vingegaard barely makes the turn, comes all the way out to the outside, just missing the fans. Tadej Pogacar looked pretty good through the turn. Remco Evenepoel in the back, probably 2, maybe 3 seconds back off of the 2 guys in front. He's going a little wide, makes it through the corner, but Jonas Vingegaard's throwing down on the accelerator pedals right now as he's trying to gap Remco Evenepoel. Now, as he's getting the gap a little bit bigger, not much, just a few seconds on Remco Evenepoel, he starts looking over his shoulder. Tadej Pogacar doesn't want to help out at all. Jonas Vingegaard digs deep some more. He's starting to bring back some of the breakaway riders up front. As that's happening, he looks back over his shoulder again. Tadej Pogacar still won't take a pull at this moment at the 24 Tour de France stage 20. Tadej Pogacar is like, no, I told you I'm on vacation right now. So Jonas Vingegaard shakes his head in disbelief, keeps pulling. Remco Evenepoel keeps dropping some seconds back there. As Jonas Vingegaard starts bringing back all the original breakaway riders, there's still 2 more up there. It's called Carapaz and Enric Mas, but Jonas Vingegaard can see Richard Carapaz, and Richard Carapaz can see Jonas Vingegaard because he's looking back. So Richard Carapaz throws in attack just under 3 kilometers to go. Well, call it about 2.8 as Richard Carapaz throws an attack. Enric Mas still follows it just behind. Then they get wrapped up with 2 kilometers to go. Now we got a stage victory on the line for whoever's got some legs left here at the 24 Tour de France. And Jonas Vingegaard still riding the front. He's still looking for some help there from Tadej Pogacar. He's only pulled through one time. If I back the film up, he did about 200-meter pull. Then Jonas Vingegaard's been doing the whole work since the attack with the exception of that one pull. Now Jonas is still on the front. We see Carapaz and Enric Mas locked onto the back wheel. 4 riders coming under 2 kilometers to go. Back to film up. What's happening with Remco Evenepoel? Gaps extending out to about 25 seconds at this moment to the Belgian rider sitting third on the general classification. It was a Hail Mary ride here for Pseudo Quickstep. That's now starting to fall apart, but it really can't fall apart because he started third on the general classification and he's still sitting third, even though the gap's going up to about 25-30 seconds. Now we're coming under 1.2 kilometers to go. Enric Mas is the first rider to fall off the group of 4. Now we got 3 left up front. Carapaz in the KOM jersey. Yellow jersey is there of Tadej Pogacar. Second on the general classifications, Jonas Vingegaard still riding the front. He'll ride in on the front till about 850 meters to go. Then Richard Carapaz, bam, explodes. His legs got nothing more left. He's been attacking since kilometer 0, basically. Now his legs are falling off. Jonas Vingegaard still on the front. He starts looking over the shoulder. It's 550 meters to go. It's time for Tadej Pogacar to come to work. The Slovenian pulls up to the front. I'm sitting on the Chesterfield. I text a couple of my home scouts. I said, oh no. No, don't give up the stage, Tadej Pogacar. Go for number 5. I asked for it yesterday. Do not give up the stage. It looks like to me when I'm sitting on the Chesterfield that Tadej Pogacar, the Slovenian, is going to ride all the way up and give it to Jonas Vingegaard. But once we get into about 250 meters to go, he looks over his shoulder. We get into 175 meters to go. Tadej Pogacar in the race leader's yellow jersey throws in a huge acceleration. Jonas Vingegaard immediately opens up the gap. Tadej Pogacar is flying through the last bends here on stage 20 of the Tour de France. He sits down, turns his computer off, sits up, pats his chest, arms wide as he crosses the stage to win stage 20, his 5th stage victory at the 24 Tour de France. Jonas Vingegaard will get second. Richard Carapaz will round out the podium here on stage 20. And Remco Evenepoel across the line about 53 seconds behind the Slovenian Tadej Pogacar to round out the stage for 4th. Now, it was a magnificent stage. Tadej Pogacar, well deserved. You were perfect. There is no reason to give a gift here on stage 5 to Jonas Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard didn't have any problems giving gifts to Sepp Kuss last year at the Vuelta a España when he was attacking his teammate. Now there's no reason for Tadej Pogacar to give a stage to Jonas Vingegaard. Let me remind all you guys that of the 23 Vuelta a España where Visma bikes, Jonas Vingegaard was attacking his teammate not once but twice during the Vuelta while Sepp Kuss was wearing the red leader's race jersey. Jonas Vingegaard's already won a stage here at the 24 Tour de France. He's put on a magnificent show. I don't doubt that. But do not give him a gift. Thank goodness the cycling gods made sure Tadej Pogacar rounded out the victory here for a 5th stage win at the Tour de France. Now afterwards, while Tadej Pogacar was sitting up on the podium, he said, well, Chris Horner and the Butterfly Effect wanted this, so I delivered it for him. Thank you. Of course, I made that part up, but I think that's what he would have said. Either way, Tadej Pogacar, congratulations. 5 individual stage victories here at the Tour de France. You have wrapped up the Tour de France 2024 victory here. It is your 3rd Tour de France victory of your career, and you go back-to-back, backing it up with the Giro d'Italia this year and the Tour de France. It's been a remarkable season. Tomorrow's the individual time trial, just over 30 kilometers long, going up Col d'Ez here in Nice. As he drops down, he'll be able to finally go on vacation, or will he? At this moment in time, I'm thinking if I'm UAE team members, I find a couple leftover $1 million somewhere, offer it to Tadej Pogacar, tell him to enjoy the next few days at home after the Tour de France. I mean, you don't even have to fly home. You're right near Monaco anyways when the time trial finishes tomorrow. So take it easy. Win your stage tomorrow. It's only 30 plus kilometers. Win that stage. Take it easy a few days after that and get ready to do the trifecta and go for the Vuelta a España. Why not? Nobody else has done it. If you want to throw any more salt in the wound from Visma bike after their magnificent victories in 2023 with Primož Roglič winning the Giro, with Jonas Vingegaard winning the Tour de France, with Sepp Kuss winning the Vuelta a España. Well, if you want to go one better than that, go to the Vuelta a España and win the Vuelta a España. And if UAE team members have got any kind of budget left, find a couple $2 million laying under the cushions there of the couch of the Chesterfield. Pull that out, give it to Tadej Pogacar, and see if he'll do the Vuelta a España so that everybody knows who the #1 ranked rider on the butterfly effect and beyond the coverage is. We all know his name's Tadej Pogacar, but maybe he can win the trifecta. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys for tomorrow's individual time trial, the last stage of the 24 Tour de France, where Tadej Pogacar will wrap up what hasn't been done since 1998, Marco Pantani doing the double in the 24 season. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys real soon.